Hey, it's Wednesday. I'm Wednesday. You're Wednesday. But in all earnestness, hi, it's Juicy. We're back with Petal Crash. We've got a little bit of a interesting mix-up on rules tonight. We're doing color clear and push garbage, which is a weird, violent combination. But thanks to the nice people over at the Friend and Fairy server, we got a lot of weird rule sets to sift through and options. And thankfully, everyone still comes out for it. We got some really cool things to show tonight. It's going to be a pretty silly one. On rotating comms tonight with me, I have Roonespism.
Hello.
He's absolutely here right now, I promise. I have Raspberryfloof.
Hello.
And I have Deka Fumo Death Cult.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so before we get into our match calls, Raz, you wanna let us know at least a little bit of what we're in for tonight?
Sure. So, our rule set tonight is standard tug of war with a twist. There's still the battle bar to deal with, so everybody will be dealing with the 35 shrinking battle bar at the bottom of the screen. If you don't clear enough and your opponent does, you will take a stock hit, and if you take 3 hits, you're out and you lose. On top of that, we are enabling color clear mode. That's pulled from the trash attack mode, where clearing petals next to garbage, instead of making that garbage disappear, turns it back into petals of the color that was cleared next to it. It doesn't immediately re-clear, but you can gain free material if you clear a bunch of garbage at once. And that can lead to some pretty silly comebacks where you'll get hit with a bunch of garbage and your screen will be almost full of garbage. And then you make one clear that clears 4 garbage blocks. You clear those, you clear 6 garbage blocks, and suddenly you're both in the lead on board and on the battle bar. So it can be quite a wild swing if you time it right. On top of that, you can push the garbage around. And while it won't clear with anything, it can get you out of some sticky situations and let you set up some silly things you wouldn't otherwise be able to set up. So it'll be fun, it'll be fast, it'll be completely wacky, and I'm here for it.
Alrighty then. So, if you're not in Discord, see yourselves in there. We're going to get match calling starting underway, and let's see what we have queued up for first stream match. Looks like Makhor and good, I'm going to butcher this, Sasaplay? Sasapla? Please don't hate me. We at least... No, we don't seem to have either of them in here queued up ready to go, but that's what we get for doing this in real time. I also still love, okay, we still got custom rules here. Well, now we just wait. I was gonna say, like, it's been a bit, but who have we actually had curate the Petal Crash rules for our mystery backs on this for a while now? Like, who is responsible for this nonsense?
I think it was Rats who chose this rule set.
True. I mean, I feel like half of it was to justify the Always Sunny Trash Man reference. Okay, we got Makhor in here, which is a start in the right direction. Even with passwords and private lobbies, you'll still get people wanting to wave hello. Do we have any word on what's going on with their opponent?
They have not checked in on the stream match call thing. It's possible that they're
In the
they're
middle
in
of
the middle
making dinner.
right now.
My heart. Oh, It looks like we
Also,
might
did
have
my
to-
microphone not work a few minutes ago? Hello, I'm Roonespism. I could have sworn I said that.
Hello, Roonespism. Looks like we're pivoting to Raz's match.
Pivoting to Raz.
Yeah.
Right.
What can be done? So it's a Raz Blaster?
I believe that is right.
Okay. Well, I believe we're all here head counted. Honestly, the biggest thing I want to see tonight is how much being able to shift garbage is going to affect most of this, because I mean, we joke here, but spawns feel almost intentionally and notoriously maliciously placed here, so if you could just uncheck mate yourself pretty freely, honestly seems pretty... Yeah, oh my gosh. So Raz a little
Raz
bit tighter.
definitely going for row button is the win button here.
True, but like, that's exactly what I was talking about. In normal mode, you don't get to move your damage tiles around. That would have been like nearly self-checkmated, but you have a get-out-of-jail-free card given how that works. Blaster.
It is... Oh, I was just gonna say, because garbage can't clear or chain or anything like that, moving it around is a little bit inefficient. But it does mean that you can get away with more aggression like that.
There was a moment where we had considered adding the rule where you can make a garbage clear into garbage. But it was vetoed down at the last minute.
Raz with an absolute domineering first round.
Well, I mean, that is Raz. Like, Blaster has some good ideas, but her tempo just kind of leaves a bit to be desired. There was definitely a point where she was just sizing up her board while Raz kept going, and that's almost going to kill you more than just not making you move at all. Like, slow deaths are fun here.
Here, though, they have gotten an initial advantage just because a couple of Raz's early chains didn't quite work out.
Yeah, wowzers, Raz is being really greedy with this.
Raz is giving me heartburn with this board state.
Like, she's not even cashing in particularly big chains here, but I'm wondering if just the way that you can the freedom you have of reshuffling your board in this mode isn't just at least a little bit enabling.
Furiously taking down notes so I know what to do later.
Yeah.
That's a fun move by Blaster. I hadn't actually thought of that, but Blaster's showing off that if you move garbage under another garbage spawner, that's just free real estate.
Oh.
Like, the garbage replaces the garbage, who cares? You just
can't
got one
spawn
for
it
free.
under. Okay.
Yeah.
We're running out of...
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
okay. That's the idea there.
Yeah, no. That was the correct play. They've even got a way to survive here. No, it's the other side.
Oh, it was the red. I think the red was
Yeah.
what was needed.
I like how there was enough time bought to still actually, like, win by a KO. Or a timeout.
No, they showed off a couple of moves there.
Alright, alright. Well, I mean, that makes for a solid early preview. Okay. Next thing we have queued up is going to be... Well, still figured out. But yeah,
I
like...
think we got Deka's match up next.
Okay.
Alright. Time to put those notes to use.
Immediately put on the spot. Love to see it.
There will be a test.
So who's Deka's opponent?
SeeSee, I think.
Yeah, there they are
They're
hiding
here.
behind TrashBoat.
They're hiding.
Yeah, I don't think we've got the official match call yet, but it's coming.
There we go.
Yep,
I
there it
see
is.
that ping.
Okay, get on the cab. I believe. Do it. Do it.
Come on!
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink.
Clearly not.
The only horse around here is me and Nick.
Oh,
There it is.
there we
Ah, there
go.
we go.
Alright, do I have to change the...
No,
Do I have
the
to
mode
change-
is set. The
oh,
mode
the
is
rules are
set.
set? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
That's one of the nice benefits of the lobby system here. When we want to do silly tournaments, we can just tell everybody, hey, play these rules.
You will struggle to find a way to mess it up.
Oh no,
Couldn't
that
Oh,
was
possibly.
don't test
Force
me.
you to do the right thing.
I mean, we could have people could still put walls on their board or turn turbo on. That's unfortunately not enforceable. So yeah, being able to push garbage around definitely makes setting up bigger chains and being more aggressive much easier. It's also risky because you're letting your opponent just have more time. But then you also get the option like Deka has of sending a nice big hit and slowing your opponent down.
like just watching it. You can't really be hard punished unless you are truly hit with like hail amounts of damage.
Yeah, unless you like fill your board completely or like are constantly under pressure, it's really hard to like get punished super hard. And I would say that in the absence of getting constantly pushed out of the game by somebody who's way faster than you, it's kind of hard to get hard locked out of the game. Plus the fact that garbage just becomes more material for you is always nice. It reminds me in a way of Wrecking Crew 98, which is another game we're playing later this month, where you can do a similar thing. You can turn your opponent's board into garbage temporarily, which then when they clear it, just turns it back into random colors.
Yeah, like there's just a lot more potential to snowball a given round in this than vanilla Petal Crash.
Oh yeah, definitely. But again, it's also way swingier because you see SeeSee used all that garbage that Deka sent, turned it back into colored petals, and then was able to completely swing it back in their favor.
Look, I'm getting big Dan mirrors energy from this.
That's not far off.
Like, it's not as free, but generally, don't hit if you're not gonna, like, absolutely decimate.
So you're saying this is the Thinking Dan's game?
Yes, entirely. Thank you for
Now I'm
understanding.
just picturing the thinker from
Except
Do
Dan.
we, do we need to commission that? We need to commission that at some point.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, Deka already having a pretty solid opening here.
Yep. Pretty solid 5.
Yeah.
SeeSee ended up a little kneecap for there.
Yep.
This is how the last round went, though. Deka got a solid advantage at the start. It seems like SeeSee really hits a stride in the mid-game. They're very good at playing fast and also managing color clear garbage.
Yeah, this mode also puts a premium very heavily on clearing that garbage where you can, which that's always a good idea in Petal Crash in general. but it's even more of a good idea when that garbage just becomes extra fodder for your chains.
Yeah, usually the reason you want to efficiently clear garbage is just to get it out of the way faster. But in this mode, if you clear 3 bits of garbage at a time, like, you know, in a little cup shape, then it just immediately becomes a clear that you can mash together.
I love doing that.
Oh wow, Deka in big trouble here.
Dead.
Oh, that's an
Oh.
overgrow.
Yep. Alright, that's good games, right? Just
That is
first
good
two.
game.
That is GG's.
Alrighty then. Oh, we're moving through.
No, I'm sure Deka remembered that Amelia, considering he used it a few times in the first round.
Yeah.
Going left there, I was thinking about it myself. I couldn't really see a good way to get out of that one, even if he went left.
Well, we are moving at a pretty decent clip, but that's why we tend to extend the longer games to all of top 8.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, God's silliest soldiers are the ones that get the longest Petal Crash games. Alright, so it looks like our next wave of match calls is happening.
Yep. Oh, I'm back up on stream.
Alright. We're, what match are we doing? Raz versus...
The Men in Black.
Ah. Understandable, have a nice day.
Their name doesn't have a lot of capital letters. I think it's just supposed to be mid.
Could be a Xerxing thing where you just never capitalize any word or name. Oh, wait, no, that wouldn't work. Okay, so this is one that I have to comment on, and we do every single time, but I love how much Michael Staple actually, like, really captured the energy of a Kirby game track through this song. Absolutely intentional, but every time it's just like, this sure is a water level. Okay,
Nib
Raz.
is quite fast. Ah, sorry, I'm just commenting on the play we haven't seen yet. Nib is quite fast, but it seems like they're losing track of their chains a little bit. They're leaving gaps in them that are getting filled in by spawns.
I mean, I think that's definitely one thing, is playing defensive is definitely hard on this. If you're expecting to get more board real estate by, like, mitigating your damage and, like, that, you have different considerations that may not have hit you before.
Just barely gets away with that one by pushing the garbage out of the way.
And the pressure is still, even though the garbage turns into material when you clear it, the pressure is still very good at eating up your chains if there's stuff spawning where you don't want it to.
Yeah. That, and, like, if you were, okay, that was actually pretty clutch on this.
That was a good solve.
Yep.
You end up in a
Funny,
case
there were
like,
two ways out of that. That was actually the slightly more complicated one.
if you're getting extra spawners, you're not losing material by clearing garbage. And that can be both good and bad, just like throwing in all your resources to try and gain advantage can be good or bad.
Both players finding some pretty impressive solves here. Yeah, like Mib finding that crazy 3-chain out of disadvantage.
But, like, they're both wildly in danger. Look how many spawns there are on both.
Yeah, it's incredible. It looks like both players are in disadvantage simultaneously right now.
Raz is the closest thing being a whole stock down.
But it's difficult to tell which way the match is accelerating. Although now it's a lot easier. Raz is...
Yeah.
Raz is in a tight spot here.
Raz is having
Yeah,
a
there is
time.
still a solve even now. Okay, wait, yeah, that's it.
That was a good way to make use of the but gonna lose on quota.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she just got a little too lost and disadvantaged there near the end. There was a whole 5 to 10 seconds of nothing happening on her board.
Yeah, when I said that Raz was in peril, that would have been a lockout in just about any other mode. In this mode, you are allowed to survive things a little bit longer, though. Okay, this time Mib does not lose their opening chain. So if they can play just as well as they played last time, this time they're starting on the right foot as well.
Rune, earnest opinion, how much do you think this mode might reward chaining from not spawning in things off of grow compared to the usual tug of war?
Honestly, I haven't played it enough. Ooh.
Because this is what I was worried about, is like, it seems like Raz is a little bit more generous with the grow button and like...
Extremely fast play.
Yeah.
I think... So personally, I haven't played it a huge amount, but just from my intuition and what little I have played, I would say it's roughly the same. Growing is maybe a tiny bit better because you can get away with just a little bit more greed. But with top-level playstyles, we're already pretty greedy most of the time.
No.
There's only like a tiny bit more that we can really add on top.
I just mean, like...
Certainly I wouldn't recommend just mashing the grow button, though. You've got to think a little bit between them.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying too close attention to Raz. They did seem to be growing a lot, but I can't imagine that they would have just been turning their brain off between them.
We got...
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh.
TinWild
I do think this
Darkslayer.
mode probably rewards growing less.
Oh, you
You
think?
still probably want a base of some amount of petals to work with, though.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking it was like a lesser situation, but... we got Makhor and TinWild up now. Who, I think TinWild just left. So, you know, that's fun.
No, I am being called into a match as well.
Alright, take care, buddy.
Will
Oh.
do.
I think my internet is exploding.
That's... unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm like struggling to connect to the lobbies, and actually it kicked me out.
Buddy.
A rollback netcode can only do so much.
Yeah, like, I don't think anyone's gonna flat out play themselves in this mode, but I feel like there's at least some room to, like, self-sabotage if you're going a little too, resource-happy autopilot.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's really what was happening with me. Is I
Okay.
was still growing about as much as I would for a normal game.
I didn't want to
And-
call my shot there, but I'm like, I don't know. So
I
actually, I have to
always
laugh around.
forget that with color clear garbage, the garbage doesn't leave empty space when you clear it. So overgrowing while there's garbage on your board means that it's much slower to clear your space. Now, if you could do what Makhor is doing there and like make that recursive cup on your board and just keep clearing it over and over, then you can clear pieces in like 1 or 2 moves and it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
But if you have to make 3, 4, 5, 8 moves between each clear, you're having more spawners land, and then you have to clear the garbage twice to get rid of it.
So I don't think this is a matchup where TinWild's really going to be sweating it too much, but I feel like there's going to be a point where, like, we might see a little bit of a karma for just how fast some players' tempos actually get.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that if anybody is able to make a snapback against a fast player when they've grown too much, it can be pretty devastating. Because it will... The garbage growing over your chain is really what cuts you off. And that's much more likely when your board is more full. Oh wow, nice 19 hit from Makhor.
Okay.
Countered a bit, but still managed to push it through.
Yeah, this amount of garbage is basically nothing given how the rules work. Remind
yeah.
me, are you able to chain garbage clear into garbage clear in this mode?
No. So
What one was that?
the way it works is you can push the garbage around, but it doesn't clear with anything. However, once you clear it with a clear a petal next to it, it turns into a colored petal, and that petal, if it somehow becomes active and pushed in a chain, can clear during that chain.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it does work that way. But,
That's funny.
it doesn't immediately clear unless something else runs into it. So yeah, Makhor's got the right idea here, where they're just, when they're boxed in with garbage everywhere, just keep pushing the garbage alongside the petals you do have, and clear it out.
He certainly has the right idea. It's just like, what do you do with this tempo difference?
Yeah, there's still a tempo factor to this game. I think there kind of always will be.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and see what we have queued up next. Okay, guess we're changing plans just a little bit. We do have a friend of the channel, Fraud Crew, basically starting up a 24/7 Twitch account here very soon. They're going to be doing a lot of their own tournament footage and stuff they're making, but we might have a feature here or there on that. We do have a promo for you guys. Let me find it really quick.
Huh? What? Tails? Watch out! You're gonna crash!
Warning, 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 warning. This disc is only for use. This disc is only for use. This disc is only for use. Only for use on Sega Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast. Only for use on Sega Dreamcast.
Oh yeah! This is happening!
But yeah, no, I know their plans currently are to go through a bunch of Dreamcast era titles there. Frankly, I don't know if it's in the cards, but I'm hoping some of ours are tapped for Choo Choo Rocket, because that is a game that I love, if only because it emotionally destroys everyone that you play with. It's a good time. Good time. Terrible time, but funny time. So keep an eye out there. We're going to have our own ad reels on that soon, and, you know, things might happen. Where are we at in the TO desk? Fuller commercial break. Well, we can always go ahead and talk about where we are at in this month, and that's the wrong promotional. I guess the slides for this past month got eaten up. Well, we're just going to go from the top of what I do remember. Not sure what happened there. Okay, well, hey, it's August 2nd. You're here right now. It's Petal Crash time. So, hopefully you're enjoying our weird tour of wacky rule sets for this game. Moving on from there, we have, I believe, the first Money Idol Exchanger bracket we've done in a while. Idol 19th edition is going to be August 9th at 8:30 p.m. EST. I know we joke around a lot. Money Puzzle Exchanger is one of our favorite titles, and for about the past year now, we had a player from Mexico, Butts BB, just kind of walk on in, be like, man, I love this game, thanks for running it, and then he has been an uncontested champ for the past year, so we're hoping it's not a one-case fluke there. Someone needs to take him down. I think at this point I am starting to be inclined to put a actual bounty on that. More details later, but you know, you heard it here first, folks. Wednesday, August 16th, we have Bobble 13th edition. Puzzle Bobble comes back. We're doing vanilla, no particularly special rules. We're just doing old game neutral. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a funny time. Check that out. August 23rd, we have two mystery brackets this month. So we are doing Columns 3 for Columns 3rd edition to kick it off. If you've not played Columns 3 before, in particular, it is a game where you have multiple means of chaining. You have horizontal, vertical, diagonal match threes. You can only change how the vertical orientation of a piece works, but more than that, Columns 3 is a punch button. Instead of immediate damage, you can store up multiple lines worth and just attack your opponent on command. So there is absolutely more of a screen watching meta in a far more direct sense than a lot of the games that we run. So that's going to be, again, weapons grade silly. We got a lot of silly games this month. And wrapping it up on Friday. Nope, wrong. Friday mode, August 25th, 8:30 p.m. EDT. We are back with OSHA 2nd edition. We're doing Wrecking Crew 98. If you've not played it before, I can't blame you. It's probably one of the lesser-sung heroes of the Nintendo puzzlers, but it is what if Panel Upon had more action platformer elements. Again, weapons grade silly game, but you know, we can't all be as in the mainstream as Panel and Yoshi's Cookie, so check that out. And wrapping up the month, August 30th, is Mouse Edition for Mouse Shooter Go-Go. This is yet another Match 3 color game. Match 4? I'm getting my numbers wrong. However, it's what if you're playing a puzzle game in the middle of a dodgeball match. You are trying to make your clears. However, your opponent can just win by spiking you with an attack. So it has that Warriors Woods dichotomy of winning via clear versus just winning via, I guess in this sense, smacking your opponent in the face. So all of that is going to be August's lineup. And I believe from here we're returning you back to bracket. Okay. Okay, looks like we're going to be doing winners semis from here. Runes match. Rune, you still here, yes?
Nope, I think Rune is...
Ah.
well, I mean, Rune is here, but not on voice.
Nah, he's definitely not in a meeting right now. Okay. Well, I think we're about to get the official match call.
Yep.
It is Rune and...
It is Rune versus DigiDigi.
Alright.
Oh, shoot.
Cool, cool. We have both of them actually in the lobby here right now, so that's neat. Unless he actually is gone. So I'll just crowd the bottom left corner here. Okay. Looks like we're making progress.
The horse has come out of hiding.
There we go.
Just waiting on Juicey.
Funny that I need to re-enter. Looks like the lobby crashed on me a little bit.
Okay,
Oh,
so I
yeah,
wasn't
if
the
you
only
mash in-
person.
If you mash in too fast, we will kick you out of the lobby still.
Yeah, oops. Anyway. Looks like I made it in just in time.
One of those, unfortunately, known bugs, but we haven't actually had a Petal Crash Online update since December of last year. It's been a while.
Really?
Makhor or DigiDigi actually doing some pretty good early hits here on Rune. Filling their board up, but... Oh wow, even take the first off. That's some serious speed. And unfortunately their garbage got a little bit unwieldy, but you see Digi's is just able to push it all together and then say, actually, I don't have any garbage anymore, I have all greens.
The boards do tend to like a weird low color count as you start to receive damage.
Yeah, if you start using the... Oh wow, Digi using the garbage in a turnaround chain? Managed to get Petals farther along the chain to push the transformed garbage. Which does actually clear it in that chain. This is a very, very close match so far.
You know, speaking of columns, I think that's what this reminds me of the most, because it feels like you just kind of get lost in the wreckage of your initial opener the longer the match goes on.
Yep, Digi... Oh, Digi stopping to think.
Thinking is a mistake.
Thinking is a mistake. Oh no! There's still a way out, but it's gonna take a few moves. Oh, not those moves though. Oh, this is already winner semis.
Yeah.
We're pretty far along in the bracket.
I mean, look, Petal for a long time has had very notoriously short early matches.
Yeah, and I mean, to an extent it still kinda does, but...
That was an exotic chain from Rune.
Yeah, lots of branching everywhere. What is he building? Oh, just ignoring the pre-built chain and deciding he could find something better. Makhor actually takes first stock. Rune also the type of player who the only stock that matters is the last one.
Wow, huge chain from Digi.
Oh wow. Rune countering most of it with some branching stuff of his own, but that left side of his board is a little bit gnarly. Not saying that it's not fixable with a little bit of work, but he's essentially playing on half his real estate at the moment. And still getting 6 chains with it, and sending 20s with it. Oh, Digi throwing a Petal away is bad.
Oh, Digi
And
looking
definitely-
for the solve and not finding
Oh,
it.
that's not it.
I mean, what do you do with that?
I don't know if there really is anything you can do.
There were a few things that they could have done, but at this point, I don't think they can do anything. They can't lose, but they can't win. Or they can't get overgrown. I'll say it that way.
Alright. I believe because we're in top 8 territory, we got one more.
Yep. So Digi taking the early hits here. Definitely using color clear to their advantage, getting free material with it. But Rune just that much more efficient that it doesn't matter that Makhor has been using their material efficiently and winning on bar. They're just going to make it so Digi can't play the game eventually.
You keep throwing Makhor in for both
Yo,
of them
yes!
this time.
I'm very silly.
It's fine. We are all Makhor.
I should just start referring to the players by their avatars. Although, I guess then we'd just have Yosodi winning every tournament.
Man. Some
I do
universal truths
confirm.
out there. Okay, Rune, not hard checkmate, but at least tempo-wise, this is going to be hard to come back from.
Yeah, but you can also see what color clear allows you to do. You just get the ability to repeatedly chip your opponent because 3 or more petals of one color sends damage, and clear your board.
I don't know, he's still having a time of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, but look at those clears per minute.
182 is not a number you see organically. Hell, 121's just like the upper limit of what we've seen in actual standard matches.
Big branching free chain from Rune.
Yep. A little bit slower on the draw here than Digi. But it doesn't matter again if you are able to just put together some of these incredible chains.
I don't know. I don't really like Rune's position here.
I mean,
Oh
it's
wow,
not
that was a funny
that
corner
bad.
case. Those reds should have gone off, but they didn't.
Yep, because left is overridden by up. I don't think there's actually a situation in which you can force Petal to go left if it was a corner case. I think the only way that works is if you push it in 3 directions. Oh, Rune having their trigger location blocked off.
Oh, I think Rune's stuck. Oh no, he
Nope.
found something. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's
pushing the
quite
garbage.
swing.
Pushing that garbage. Finding the one way out.
Ooh, another good solve from Rune. Really hanging on by a thread here, though.
Like, he's
Yeah.
wildly overcommitted to that one idea. That being said, like, his scramble game is fantastic. Most
Yeah,
people
he's
do not
doing a
get
great
the
job
lift
converting,
spell
like, 2 button presses into 3 chains very, very consistently.
He's still down 2 stocks.
Yeah, this is where I think he's probably sweating a little bit.
Oh no, I don't think
yeah,
so,
this
that...
is kind of bad. He's forced to just take that. Oh, and then lost the
no!
trigger for the chain.
That's
now he's on the
so much
defensive.
tempo lost.
Yeah, he's on the defensive and lost his chain. So he has no way to prevent Digi from just building something massive and ending this last stock.
I mean, Digi's primed to reverse 3-0 this. Alright.
And that's
Digi's gonna
yeah,
take it.
2-2.
2-2.
So, last game. Will we have a reverse 3-0 or will Rune find his footing? Rune with a massive setup here. Digi with an
Digi
equally
knows
massive
what
setup.
Oh, Jesus!
13 through that. Alright, oh, Digi lost a little bit of their work, but got it
Actually,
back.
slides it back together.
And as usual for this set, Digi takes the first stock again. And Rune in kind of a really big stuck spot here.
Digi's board a little checkerboarded though. Gonna need to do some rearranging to really get value out of some of this.
Yeah, Rune finding a 4-chain through all of that. Oh, okay.
Wow, the turnaround combo. Digi just literally playing off the wall right now.
Okay, oh yep. That'll chain through itself. Well done. Rune stuck down here with all spawners. If he didn't have that one move, would have ended up overgrown. And as it is, he's not looking like he's in a great spot.
Yeah, Digi is primed to take this stock, yeah, and that was a close stock too, so that's a really rough one for Rune to lose.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a lot of material or room to catch up, so it'll definitely be a hard scramble from here. Scrapping for these 2 and 3 chains just to keep tempo up. Okay, passes it. Oh, but the garbage grew back over it. Digi.
Oh wow, that's a big
about
change from
5
Digi.
petals away from that's it.
Digi gonna take it.
3-2 over Rune with a 101-81 final game.
Bit of an upset, if I do say. Digi has to be happy with that one.
I think this is going to be the first winners finals in quite a while that doesn't have Rune in it.
Okay. We got TinWild and Mid next.
Yep, other
They
side of
already
winners.
queued up. They're in the
I'll
top
be
left.
offered my match. So it looks like you'll be on your own for a bit, Juicey. I gotta hop off my match.
I got it. I'm here.
Hi, TrashBoat.
Yo, bem-vindo.
How do? Is it time to pedal?
It is. It does appear to be that time. I don't keep a watch, so I wouldn't know.
Well,
But it is. It is the pedal time. I hear.
it might be in your best interest for the long term. But no, like I'm conspiratorial. Right?
Ooh.
I want to see like which people end up really losing the pressure once like resources just don't go away, because like damage stays, extra spawners stay. There is no real reset to like less resources. The heat just keeps turning up.
That is a problem I had. I think the last time we did a color clear, I think we did Trash Attack, where it's like I'm so used to playing with default Petal rules that sort of playing at the sort of supply and demand playstyle that I do play for that did end up hurting me a lot that last time we did something like that, where like you have to consider color clear and all that. So yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how many people sort of adjust, get on the right footing, properly manage their petals, tend to the garden when it's, they got the super grow happening.
So I want to single out something I've been seeing Mid do, and that's like stacking garbage in a line to be cleared and like be their next chain.
Yeah, he's making sandwiches.
Yeah, no, like absolutely, really solid garbage management. Which,
We have plenty of sickos in the chat that love a good sandwich.
so sure.
Both puzzle and literal. But yeah, it's like that's just a really good shape to use. Like straight lines, it's just, and I use this in normal where it's just like it's really just easy to sort of build or chain off of accidentally.
Like, I'm likening it to like the comeback structures for Puzzle Boncho.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, there's that. But it's like I don't know if you see in MIPS. Oh, well, it was that way. It's synchronizing for me.
We're in synchronization hell right now.
But there was like there were like these 3-piece clusters that are kind of like perpendicular, and like if you can just put like a straight line above that, and that'll clear pretty easily. And it's kind of easy.
Oh.
Dang.
Okay. I think that's the first time I've seen that in a long time. Which,
Oh no.
Impressive since TinWild's over in Vietnam.
We have the fairies rollback. It's a very rare occurrence these days.
Alright, let's try this again. I guess we're just gonna have to count that round one as forfeit. Let's start from scratch here.
Yeah, we just
simply do it again.
Just burn the entire garden and replant it all from scratch.
As one does.
As one does,
I don't want
slash and burn agriculture. That's not like a thing I just made up. That's like real. Oh shoot! I made a oopsie goose.
I was gonna say, please. I don't want to know how you mow your lawn.
No. Slash and burn is a real thing, but
I know.
I'm burning CDs and I accidentally have my bad CD that I can't use mixed up with the good CD I just burnt. So now I'm gonna figure out which is which.
I hope your PlayStation 2 endeavors work out.
They're looking better these days. I'll say that much. But You know what? I'm not gonna slander anyone from the PSX forums on this stream. There are better places to do that.
I see. Okay.
Oh yeah, I love these. Look at that freaking green line he's got there. Look at that. Damn, that's good as hell, man. Oh, and gosh. Oh no, wait, I'm looking at TinWild. TinWild is who I was looking at because I thought TinWild where Mib was. Oh no, Mib's screen looks kind of.
Mib ends up in harder disadvantage just in sheer tempo, but I feel like they're doing better considerations like where the garbage ends up, how it clears, and like ends up at least not putting themselves in a bad situation.
Yeah, they're doing the board management calculus a lot better, but boy, this is almost that's a tough one. You full of spawners, you kind of gotta.
It can only buy you so much time.
You got to do a bit of anti-grow stuff, or non-grow down stacking, or slash and burning. I guess
that's it now.
Yeah, that's the. Do a little slash and burn.
One of the few horticultural terms we've had that's not how sandwich shop tech.
Okay, there's bouquet. Although that's more of a I guess a form or like a part of something than like maybe a tech thing. But we still have bouquet. We have some non-food terminology here.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of sync hiccups, probably.
I'm seeing it too. We'll see where it's going. Oh no, Kane Phillies. Oh.
Okay.
And so how about them swallows?
I love the swallows, man.
What's their season been like without Subakuro, man? I'm curious about that.
The world may never know.
I mean, I think Xerxes knows. He follows them probably.
He's
still,
retired. He doesn't know.
I think he's retired from puzzle games, not following his hobbies.
He doesn't have hobbies beyond birds.
Oh, I mean, the swallows are birds. Are they?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
they're a baseball team.
Shoot, his favorite baseball teams are all birds, though.
True. Anyway, thank you for understanding it's hard to commentate when people are warping through space-time.
Man, TinWild gets another one.
True. TinWild did.
Oh, I meant to say Subakuro. I don't know if I said Subakuro.
Mid kind of struggling given like that's nice. Hey, you got one more game.
Oh shoot, let me leave. I accidentally clicked on there. You guys go ahead. I accidentally. Yeah, let's go.
You're good. But no. Okay, I guess we're going there.
Look, they're requesting a cabinet switch.
No, one of them just vanished.
This one has a sticky. This one has a sticky button on P2 side. It's within their rights. I do like the vibes of the whole arcade cabinet setup for the lobbies, but there's like one player that actually uses like arcade stick in Petal Crash. That's man. Actually, could have gone with like a cyber cafe motif. Oh man, Raz looks like she's struggling in hers. I'm not in the lobby or in the game, but that squirrel is looking very stressed.
All right, we got TinWild and Mib back on the right track. Mib should be on cab now. Gonna wrap it up. TinWild only needs to win one. Oh, I gotta exit again.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
I've been hitting the cabinet glitch a couple times today. Apparently.
Don't hit the cabinets. That's.
It is generally bad practice, yes.
Your arcade tech's gonna get so mad at you.
I am my arcade tech.
Like mine when I was trying to do the crazy dash on Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, okay.
That's look. I like to do the funny crazy dash and then the funny limiter cut. in addition to it.
Well, I think we should be good to go here.
This looks fine. You know, we're
TinWild only needs to get one more point, so scoreboard's going to be a little clunky, but you know.
Scoreboard.
Scoreboard.
Oh. Yeah, no. Can we... Where is...
I wish you could press the ready button for them.
You know what? Petal Crash is a perfect program, but it could be perfecter.
Yeah.
Raid. No touches.
I certainly am missing the direct text feature of Fightcade in this moment.
That's, you know what? What's going on? We're here. I guess I don't know. What if I do this? You know, I'm gonna do some trickery. Oh wait.
What's up?
What is
Well,
happening?
I'm looking at TinWild and Nib. They're like characters are emoting. Their characters
Are they-
emoting.
Are they in game, but we're not allowed to see they're in game?
That may be the case. Because like, if you look outside the lobby, it's like, oh,
That would be the first time I've ever seen that bug.
man, every day, you know, every month, we hop on PCO and give Nova more stuff to fix.
Yeah.
So this one is a wash, yes?
It seems like it. You know what? I trust them. I believe whatever they say.
Well, we will at least use this moment to shout out our friends over at Dr. Mario Championship Discord are having one of their representatives run something at Frame Patel's soon. Savage Octagon is doing a Dr. Mario Shuffle event, which is basically having 3 sets of Dr. Mario, the NES, the Game Boy, and the SNES, and having the participants on it basically swap between the 3 on a whim. So, that may seem kind of tame. It's fair. But each of those games have wildly different handling and varying degrees of unfriendly randomizers. So, keep an eye out for that. I believe I have harder dates and info. Let me find it really quick. It's going to be the GDQ block on Tuesday, August 15th at 3:25 p.m. EST. You all should check that. Tell them we sent you. Give them... You know, I was going to say a fat log, but that's just not appropriate. But yeah, no, Dr. Mario's been very kind to us. I think... Did they play a last match? Okay, I guess...
They might have got disconnected from it again.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Somebody needs to go to Vietnam and kick TinWild's ISP.
Yeah,
We're
jeez.
gonna...
Anyway, back to winter semis after a bit there.
Look, we just had a really... Look, we were going too fast anyway. We needed more content, is what this was. Oh my gosh, what is this? This is a sicko chain.
That sure is a chain. That sure was countered.
I'm sorry, was that a
After
perfect
all that-
trade there?
Mib took 3.
Crazy. Also, I do want to give a shout out to both our Tetris for the raid. We super appreciate you guys coming around pretty consistently. And,
Ooh.
I hope we get to expand your library of puzzle titles out there a little bit.
Let's tell them about Guru. And...
Look, that'll come up someday.
Oh no, Mib.
Oh gosh, that's 20. That's... Ew.
That's 69. Anyway, that's actually Winner's Finals. So it looks
Okay.
like we're ready to move on to the next match bracket. Oh, this is a game.
Huh. It do be a game.
But yeah, we are well into top 8 now, and I think we already had the Rune upset. I'm wondering if we're not going to have like one more big someone kind of stealing some off of a pretty big rubber band there. The one we missed was way more exciting. Oh, I'm so sorry. I guess they did play an entire set off stream.
Man.
Just feel like shit. Alright. So we got TinWild on stream against Rune. Wait. That's not correct. Rune did not beat that. We got DigiDigi and TinWild in winners finals. Okay. So TinWild's already in here. Digi's probably going to be just a second. No. Love to have fairy mirrors. And things are going underway. And I got the cabinet
It's
glitch
Fairy
again.
Wednesday.
I keep getting the cabinet glitch. Is this because I decided to do mouse for once? Okay. Regardless, we're in here.
Speaking of Fairy Day, wish your neighborhood Ashley a happy birthday. It was her birthday 3 days ago.
It's true.
4 days
Fair.
ago. We wouldn't have Petal Crash without her.
Okay.
Both players just building and building. TinWild using the garbage as extra fodder.
Honestly, TinWild seems a lot slower tempo this match. I wonder if there's a more conscious decision to play off the resources that he has versus Pro.
Maybe. He's definitely not filling his board up as much.
DG has a powerful slowing aura that killed me.
Yeah! I, for one, love to be murdered by slow.
It's not the most powerful status effect, but you can usually get it for cheap.
And
It's quite a clever strategy. I
it's
should have
not
thought of
flashy, so it tends to get understated in the meta.
it. Absolutely.
There's definitely a lot of counterplaying going on here on Digi's side of the board. Using that garbage as just extra chain fodder.
I think Mib has been doing this too, but like, I think Digi's just getting a lot more mileage out of this. Oh, this thing kicked up. A reminder to prove
at the
just
end.
how stable this game is otherwise. TinWild's over in Vietnam.
Yeah, I don't think this would like even be playable in Fight Gate.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that being said,
I see
TinWild
you
has
brought
also
the
had more favorable connections before.
wait a second.
The
Why is
lobby
this
is very confused right now.
Okay. Why is there a void on the other side of the cab there? Okay.
I'm not even on a cab on my screen.
I love when TinWild breaks everything.
The Petal crash was consumed by the void.
I'm forced to play the game, and I'm not even on a cabinet. Can I fix
Okay.
this? I fixed it, I think.
You think or you know?
I don't know yet.
Okay, well, that one cabinet's gaining a big dark aura.
Yeah, should I touch the void cabinet?
I'm kind of scared.
Touch the void cabinet and see if anything
Nah,
happens.
I'm stuck, it got me.
Yep, I'm stuck.
We may need to recreate this lobby.
I think this lobby is actually maybe hacked. TinWild has cursed the entire lobby.
Alright.
Is this why we've got Big Wednesday set up? We could use
I
Big
guess
Wednesday
so.
instead.
We're gonna use
I
Big
was-
Wednesday.
Yeah, sure, Big Wednesday. I certainly wasn't making my own lobby. Hanging out with our friends over at Big Wednesday. Same password, let's get everyone over in here. Petal crash. Okay. We have half of who we need. We have the other half. And then this cabinet is not becoming... Okay, well I glitched again. But, you know, it's
Just go
not
into the
becoming...
options menu and back out. You can still click option when that happens.
Yeah. It's just certainly misbehaving a little bit more today.
Hmm. Oh, look at that giant red structure that DG already gets.
Oh wow.
Plus a sneaky 3-chain down there.
Tin had to throw petals all the way across their board to get anything close to that, and Diddy just got it for free.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with color clear, playing compactly is not quite as important.
You can do either. Because if you play compact, then sometimes you end up with pairs being made out of the garbage, which is great. And if you don't, then sometimes you just end up with these fun, like, clearing things between garbage so that you get another clear for free kind of moves. So it can really work either way.
Oh wow, that's a big big change by
Yeah.
Digi. Also, I don't
Okay.
think I've seen Tin lose on, like, be behind in stocks very often. Tin is usually a much faster player.
Yeah, you do eventually win on stocks against Tin after you've put 20 garbage on their board and really stopped them from being able to play the video game for a little while. It's rare to get the first stock against Tin though.
Yeah, and even more rare to get the first two and threaten the third.
Yeah, I was wondering. Because I didn't feel like I was playing that poorly during my match against DG. I was wondering if DG was actually
110.98?
ludicrously good at the video
Excuse
game
me?
all of a sudden. I wonder if there's something about color clear and pushable garbage that they understand that we don't, or if they've just been practicing a lot. Because TinWild and I don't play a huge amount outside of brackets. We're kind of just coasting along on the fact that we're already quite practiced. Maybe DG has been playing a very large amount without us.
That's quite possible. It certainly looks like they know something that we don't.
I was, as I usually do when I lose a game in a bracket, or lose a set rather, I did go back and watch the past 10 minutes of the stream and go, what the hell were they doing? They were playing faster than me, but only maybe the tiniest bit smarter. I think I just need to speed the hell up, if I can.
I like how the answer's not play smarter back. It's like, let's just put more fuel on the fire.
No, they were getting so much more playing faster than I was trying to play smarter. And honestly, I wasn't even playing that much smarter than them, if I was at all.
Yeah, they're just getting so many big clears.
Yeah. Like, they're basically getting them for free. It either means that they're setting them up in a way that I don't understand, or it means that I'm trying to play too smart and it's possible to get stuff like this just playing on autopilot.
I think what they're doing is, it looks like they're using color clear to their advantage, clearing a few extra petals to get some extra material in a big clump, and then chaining into that newly created material. So
I did notice,
definitely...
I did notice something like that. A couple of times they would set up a chain and leave it for later. I do stuff like that as well sometimes, although I couldn't find a lot of good opportunities for it in my set against them. Not in the last couple of rounds, anyway.
But yeah, I'm watching them this round, and it looks like, with the exception of when they're way ahead on tempo, like now, they're just taking the chip hits that they're being given, pushing the garbage together so that it keeps clearing into big clumps, and then using those big clumps as extra damage in their chains.
Yeah, the man who's only seen Dan mirrors might have been right. Maybe I should be only attacking if it's a kill shot. That was a surprisingly slow solve from Tin. Oh, that was very clever though, so that's the kind of incredible move they need to make the comeback here.
Yeah, but they need to also keep, like, doing more of them faster.
Yeah, they need to keep playing incredibly, it's true.
Which, that helps. Taking that stock means Digi has a lot more work to do to end the game.
Yeah,
and now they're doing it from
like they have
disadvantage.
Minor advantage.
Maybe. They definitely
Another
have...
very smart chain there.
Yeah, they definitely have the advantage of being up 2 stocks already. And Tin looks like they're just stuck and don't have anything to do.
Oh, don't synchronize or desync at the checkmate here.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, TinWild's 1 away from clearing 7 petals in a 3-chain. This isn't checkmate.
It was.
No, it looks like they're still going on the cab. Wait, are they?
I think Digi got.
Oh wait, no,
disconnected
TinWild's
and
just
Tin's
doing
not.
an. Yeah, TinWild's just doing an animation. Honestly, it looks like.
Call?
Okay, actually, you're right. We'll wait for a TO because my call was going to be. It looked like DG was going to lose that first one that disconnected, and TinWild was going to lose that second one that disconnected. So I call it a wash. But as far as getting some games going for the stream, giving the spectators something to look at, yeah, we might need a call.
Let's take a look here really quick.
So Tin.
Looks like Moss is making some sort of ruling here.
Okay, TinWild's back in.
I think we're just gonna call that round a wash and start from the top. So,
we're Digi up 1-0.
yes.
Yeah, 0-1 DG. That's more what I meant. Between the disconnected rounds, because one was going one way and the other was going the other way, I don't think either player can be really that upset if we just say neither of them count.
I mean, to be fair, we've done that with all the
Yeah.
disconnects so far, so best to be consistent. Hopefully we don't run into this problem again in the future. Okay, there we go. I was scared for a second. Like, they didn't have that glitch where we can't watch them play again.
Uh-oh. Wait, did both... Oh, wait, no, just TinWild disappeared.
Oh no, they both did. They both got kicked from the lobby, it looked like.
No, DG...
Oh, okay, yeah, they're both here.
Alright. Digi technically up a point right now.
Yes. I've lost track of TinWild's chain. I hope they haven't.
It was a 5, so not as good as
Yeah.
Digi's, but acceptable.
No, I was wondering if they had a way to turn it all into one big chain, but they just took it as 2 4s and 5s, which is probably about as good.
Oh wow.
Yeah, real clever on DG's side.
It was clever on Tins too, using that garbage in their chain.
Oh yeah? If TinWild's side was so clever as well, why did he lose the stock?
Oh, that's a 20. That just disappeared.
Oh, wow. I did not see that extension into the south at all.
Alright, here comes another 4 chain.
Yeah, TinWild floundering a little, hasn't made a chain except for that branching 2 right there for a little while now.
Yeah, and Digi is just getting big chains.
Big.
Tin stuck in the corner here, not really much they can do. Oh,
Nope.
don't. Not again!
There.
There's one final play that they have at their disposal. Although I would be remiss to say it's an intentional one. Wait! I got to see a second of something.
One packet got through.
Yep. A couple more packets just there.
And we
Okay.
caught up.
Okay.
And that's how it happened.
TinWild attempting to use their internet to their advantage. DG just barely manages to counter.
Oh, boy.
Another 100 clears per minute showing from DG as well. Color clear is definitely helping out there.
Mm-hmm.
It can only do so much. Alright, TinWild bringing up the synchronizing screen early this time. Let's see if this one works out better.
That's the meta.
The meta is evolving. Because, yeah, saving it for the last second did not work last round, so this time we're going to try and get it out of the way early, see if that works any better.
I mean, things seem better now. I mean, knock on wood, but you know.
Okay, TinWild finally gets the opening chain he was looking for. Actually makes things pretty neutral, both on the bar and in terms of ward health.
But Digi with a quick 4 to take the stock.
Ooh. Yeah, and Tin messes up the head of that chain. It happened like 10 seconds ago now, so you can't even see it anymore, but...
Spending off that 10 garbage. That was actually probably, they could have waited and grown and used that garbage that was landing to just turn it into free fodder. Which I think I've seen Digi doing. They're letting the garbage hit them and then immediately turning it into colored petals.
Yeah, I mean, that's just good play in general.
Getting hit is the new grow button.
No, even in
Don's got
regular
more
trash
powerful-
attack, you're supposed to grow in before you get hit as much as you can. The only time you wouldn't do it is if it completely wrecks the chain that you're making.
What if Dan got more powerful every time he got hit?
That's margin time. Also, we keep talking about, like, or rather no, it's not just Dan, it's the Dan mirror. It's also the fact that your opponent is being forced to give you good stuff every time you get hit.
Like, it's generally just kind of a crockpot that keeps turning up regardless of what anyone does.
Okay, that's 0-3 as far as the game's
3-0,
accounted is concerned.
Alrighty then.
After a couple of warm-up rounds against me, they've finally forgotten how to lose.
And I guess.
Mm.
Alright, let's see what to call.
Alright. Oh, it's me and Rune.
Comes, kill match, alright. Where are we in bracket with this?
This is losers' quarters? Losers'
Alright.
quarters.
Thank you.
Well, here's hoping we don't curse at any cabinets, Rune.
Nah, we're gonna make the black hole cabinet again.
I think my powers to curse cabinets are not as strong as TinWild's.
I mean, you're Australia, dude. It could happen.
I think my internet's a little bit more stable than Tin's, just from what we've seen in the past.
True.
It's not like Australia's that much further than Vietnam anyway.
But also, that just
Although,
sounds like
actually,
Twitter
depending
talk.
on what the route that the cables take it on, might honestly be closer. Because I don't think the traffic whatever, I'm playing.
No. Let's get the networking lecture. Okay, Rune doing a good round the border chain. Let's see if these players do those Dan mirror match strats. Raz slowing down a little bit. Yeah, Rune's being real aggressive, but this could just be a chance. Raz just could be playing 5D chess. We're gonna see the turnabout in any second now. Just watch the space for a second. Just look. It's gonna happen. Ooh, oh, here it goes. Here comes the Danon. No, Raz. Oh, well, no, that actually kind of saves what little else was gonna be at that chain. Okay. Raz still alive. Let's see. Yeah, still alive and kicking, still making it happen. Yeah, Rune's just kind of chaining like hell, but Raz always refused to die.
I don't know. Like, yes, Raz refuses to die, but maybe if Rune had a little bit of garbage on the board, it would be different. But like, spawners give me more anxiety in this mode. I almost want to say they're like around the same danger of just getting garbage wholesale. Can't be for sure. We only started doing this tonight, but that's my speculative call, unless you're being smart about it, like Digi. I'm just gonna remain a little skeptical and anxiety-ridden, which is most of my normal days anyway.
Look, we stand an anxiety-ridden king.
Thank you. That being said, I think Rune has decided to truly adopt the Danmere thing. Like, let's make the biggest opener I could possibly do. Like, look at some of that.
Yeah, no, this is pretty not great, but this is a pretty good. But that Garby is kind of in some awkward spots where I don't think she could really take advantage of it like that.
Yeah,
Plus,
well, I mean,
also, her tempo's it's suffering a little bit. You know, gonna say that. I don't know if you can hear me, but hey, Rune got like super greedy.
Oops.
Thanks, buddy.
No, this is more content. This is,
We take those.
Yeah,
we do take those.
yeah,
For the
absolutely.
content.
So every time we try to get too ahead of ourselves, the content says no, we need more, and the game just, gets our streams gets extended a little bit.
Yeah. I will say probably the difficulty of likening this to the same solution as Dan from Puzzle Fighter Mirrors is going to be. Not only is it hard to one-shot your opponent in this, or it's not unreasonable, but he's no longer playing against people who will let him one-shot them.
Well, yeah, it's kind of difficult to one-shot someone in Petal Crash anyway, even if they're like new. Like, you have to either really figure out a big chain, and by the time you figure that out, they could just either hit you with something or something else. It's, again, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but the skill gap would have to be super big. Rune would have to be playing a baby that has never played video games or Petal Crash to pull that off.
And that's not happening this late in bracket. However.
Now, they're mad scientist-related actions that can happen at any point in bracket. You always have to be prepared. But yeah, it's very unlikely.
Right.
Do not step into any teleporters with any babies. Watch out.
Well, let's see what Raz does to recover this. This is the time. Raz has been softening up Rune for 2 games now. She's gonna pull out she's getting him really lulling him into a false sense of security. This is where we're gonna see the dirty stuff.
Okay, Raz has to beat a 15 in damage.
No, she doesn't have to beat it. She has to survive it and then go to the next part. And it's like a Final Fantasy XIV raid boss. You don't really have to beat every part. You just have to survive long enough to get to the next phase. And then
Ooh, the wraparound on that?
Yeah. See, what did I say? All right, it came true eventually. Oh, they're just moving garbage back and forth. They're just trading the same 15. Oh yeah, Raz playing playing some Dan mirrors now. I'm seeing it. Ah, she could have extended that by one more step, but I mean, that's still good.
She kind of has to. I think she's being more mindful of her tempo, and rightfully so.
Oh yeah, no, you always want to be mindful of your tempo around too.
The kneecap potential is obvious too.
Okay.
He does have a one stock lead over Rune, but Rune doesn't consider stocks to be real.
He's a whatchamacallit, a stock truther. That's it.
I don't like that.
he's no.
It's okay, Australia simply does not have a stock market.
Don't ask Runes about the push buttons in his office. And while they all say stock question mark.
Alright, Raz had some tempo lead before with the stock lead, but we're kind of ceding ground, if ever so slightly.
Yeah, Rune is kind of like Australian Leprido. Whereas,
Yeah.
Leprido, look, the strong thing about Leprido is very consistent in how he plays, to where if you drop tempo for a second, you're gonna lose. Rune does that also, but not as scary as Leprido.
Impressive, since Rune was playing this game first, and now he's become the other someone else.
This is why I deafen my headset on most games I play.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
I didn't say Rune was like great value or bootleg Leprido, just Australian Leprido. Just,
It's not Leprido is Japanese Rune. No, that would just be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what if Leprido was at the Sydney Opera House?
That'd be messed up. I don't even want to think about that.
I think you might have lost track of that bit a little bit.
No. I think that was as on track as that bit.
I was playing 90 clears a minute listening to this.
Okay. So, remember that I once lived. Okay. Let's take a look. We got Mib and Darkslayer on the other side of Loser's Quarters, yes? We're still in Loser's Quarters.
Oh, this will be fun. So no matter who wins, I get to play against someone that I don't play against very frequently.
I feel like Mib is the other
Mib
potential,
was doing...
like, 40
Yeah,
chess.
Mib was doing real well when I was watching him earlier. Darkslayer's also pretty good at the game, though, so I don't know who's going to win. But it'd be... I'm going to root for Mib. I'll go ahead and root for him.
I think the biggest thing going against Mib is they have the slowest tempo of everyone this far in the bracket. Because while they were making, like, really smart garbage positioning and rubber bands, Tin was just fast. TinWild is very fast. Fast enough to not care about your big brain.
I'm getting synchronizing again against these, watching these players. Was this happening with my game?
No.
No, but Darkslayer is also from Vietnam.
Ah.
Just bad internet day in Vietnam, I guess.
Yeah, some kind of problem with the transcontinental wires or whatever.
I hate to see it.
Yep.
It is very nice that Petal Crash has a worldwide audience, though.
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah, I'm thinking of like, okay... If I was gonna just map out the top 4 players in this game, and unretire Xerxian for a second. They all come from all 4 different countries.
Yeah. Japan, Australia, Vietnam, and Japan.
Japan.
U.S.
Yeah.
Xerxian's also
It's
from
okay.
Japan.
I sometimes forget the US exists as well.
I wish. Anyway, yeah, this is exactly what I mean. Like, if mid can just build the proper counter, like, they seize momentum back hard.
This is a fun double sandwich setup. Ooh, triple sandwich setup that they've got.
Ooh.
That was
Okay,
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
but
compact and
Darkslayer.
very fast pain that they've paid for by turning their left side to mush.
Yep. And I feel like in this game mode you don't want that, because you want open space for the garbage to land and clump in.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do against you in that set we just played. I'm trying to play the entire board again.
I
But
think
also
it
I'm
does
trying to play
work out
faster.
much better.
Yeah. I need to remember how to do that fast again, because 90's fast, but it's not that fast.
It's not 101 fast.
No, it's not 100 and it's not 110.
Ooh, nice chain there by Mib. Slotting the yellow right in at the end.
Yeah, they're doing a good job finding constant 3 and 4 chain pressure. That is the mark of a good player.
And Darkslayer doing their best to try to come back, but
They are
I'm
in
not
peril.
sure. I am not sure there is much room for them to do.
Yeah.
Any-
Ooh, that
any coming
was
back here,
almost the
but-
very best red move they could have done.
Yeah, if Mib wasn't continuing the pressure, they would definitely be on their way back.
Yeah. The rules are helping him out a little as well. Normally this would just be GG's already. But even now they're finding 3 chains, leaving behind this big purple group as well.
Yeah, it's really, really hard to overgrow somebody in this rule set. As I forget who showed off, but they had 63 garbage on their board. They couldn't win, but they
Yeah.
couldn't lose.
No, I believe...
Except by
was
bar.
that me versus SeeSee? I remember one of my rounds in the early parts of the bracket where I really
might
got a
have
lot of
been.
content on someone's board. Yeah. Yeah, not that I can see 60% of it, but Darkslayer's doing an excellent job keeping this one alive. They've even taken a stock, but I think it's going to slow down a little bit too much here unless they find something real clever.
I mean, those yellows growing in will help.
Yeah, the blue growing in fucking doesn't help though, does it?
Nope.
Ruining the second 2 links of that chain. They probably were going to lose regardless, but that was quite unlucky. That's very unfortunate for them.
Yeah, I mean, but they were playing that well through 91-81, so...
Yeah. No, it's just a shame. It could have been one of 5 colors and just had to be that one. Darkslayer with a very awkward setup on the left here. They're going to need to move some of these reds out of the way, I think. Or actually, no, they can use this bottom one, but they probably can't use the top one. Alright, does manage to get a 5 chain out of it. Now they just have to clean this up a little.
Oh, Darkslayer doesn't have that much room.
Ah, it's fine.
That's a nice
Pushable
4
garbage.
chain, though.
Yeah. That's the thing. They had confidence in that setup. They knew they were willing to work hard for it.
You know, I'm kind of impressed by just how well Petal Crash works with all these different rule sets.
Yeah, he just barely gets that 4 in under the wire. Their opponent has an interesting setup at the top, though. Mib with that giant purple up there that would normally be pretty tricky to get to, but actually, because of the pushable garbage, I imagine they could just kind of drag that one in the middle down a little bit.
Oh no!
Oh! Gets got by the simultaneous spawners, just like me. As the #1 seed in this tournament, although I did lose to DG, I can say with full confidence, it happens to the best of us.
What if it doesn't happen to Digi?
Well, if it doesn't happen to DG, then I'll update the saying accordingly.
Also, when is
Did
TrashBoat
Darkslayer
gonna
plan that
retire?
entire thing out?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was... It took them a while to resolve that one, and I think it was because they were actually trying to double check if every single link worked.
They're really scrambling to get the first stock there. Like, there was a whole 20 seconds of max single clears.
Normally, that's not a great idea, but Darkslayer handed them some of the tempo to begin with by taking such a long time to resolve their complicated first chain. Nib's ward looks real messy. Fixing up this right side is going to take a little while. They're probably going to lose a stock doing it. And if they're not careful, they'll lose a game doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Darkslayer has a decent chain setup. Alright, takes half of it as a 4, still has a good chain setup. And is that enough for a stock? It is.
Alright. That giant purple block is going to help Mib make a bit of a invasion into this right side.
Yeah, that way they're still building chains and not losing tempo while clearing the garbage. That's kind of the trick to this mode, it feels like. Is let the garbage help you keep your tempo up. Alright, Mib using that garbage well enough to take another stock. Darkslayer now potentially on the last stock of the tournament. Oh, that's a very nifty 5. Okay, Darkslayer turning that garbage into a green instead of a purple. It means they can't immediately take advantage of it. And this pressure from Mib is just so relentless.
They're about to get a red block to spawn into 3 here. Nope. They don't even want to let it spawn. They refuse to press the grow button. They just want to win.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Often I find when I'm choosing between 2 different strategies, and one of them is to win, I usually pick that one.
You make it sound so easy.
Makes sense.
Sometimes it really is that easy.
I'm just gonna take your word for it. Alright, so that should be wow, we're back to Centaur and Fairy top 4, huh?
Yep. It turns out they might be the most powerful characters in Petal Crash.
Oh, my game doesn't have character meta? No, wrong, incorrect.
All games with characters have a character meta.
It's just strictly the aura they give off. and it's just tough to compete with humps. Yoshi Suzuki players know this.
Nib smartly setting up all their garbage on the edge of their board.
Like, I wonder how much commentating and researching how some of the other people in bracket played are going to affect Rune's end of tournament run here.
We'll see. It seems like right now they're still losing first stocks.
I mean, almost, I feel like Rune loses first stock on principle.
Sometimes he's fast enough to take first stocks. He wasn't losing it against me, for example.
You know, things are evening out a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't... Like, he loses first stock, but he trades that stock for an incredible amount of tempo.
Forces the overgrow, which hasn't been super common tonight. My biggest thing is, like, he can kind of keep playing this like it's, just standard tug of war until he has to deal with a particularly mid to high amount of garbage sounds.
Yeah, that's kind of how this plays out.
It's like, yes, I don't have to play neutral if I just simply never get hit. Something blockings for cowards.
Been growing quite a lot here.
Yeah.
Actually behind on the bar a little bit.
Oh, well, you might grab first stock here.
Oh, never mind. Suddenly, Mib is well ahead on the bar.
Dang.
And Rune has a lot of garbage to go through.
This is the learning moment. Did he adapt from his previous encounters?
Yeah, let's find out. Mib keeping that. Oh my gosh. That's so much garbage!
Yeah.
But Rune just taking it in stride.
He's want to do that. That being said, he can only do
Oh
that
my
so
gosh,
much.
that's another 20! What is Nib doing?
Big. I'm honestly surprised Rune is still growing given his circumstances.
Yeah, I think at some point he's being forced to grow because he's not making enough clears that turn garbage into petals, and he's just running out of things to clear. Oh, but here comes a 6 chain!
It's like, no, it's your turn to slow down, buddy.
Yeah, and also he's threatening a stock here, so
Kinda
threatening
needs
to
it.
undo all this work, and there it is. Reset the bar to 35. Mib has a lot more to do to take this round. And now he's in. Now Rune's also got the tempo lead, so. Oh no! Mib throwing away that perfectly good clear, and another one!
Manages an overgrow this late in the game at that huge of a health and time disadvantage is kind of crazy. Vietnams. Thank you for coming
The
to my TED
dancing
Talk.
horse.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose we already knew this to some degree, but Rune's not dead until he's officially not moving. Advantage and disadvantage are just kind of a suggestion. Speaking of which, that opener, slight cut at the end, but like it's still pretty strong.
Yeah, and then a follow-up too.
Ends up being a little bit of a tank and sense situation. However, kind of light. Gets a wraparound off of damage converting to usable.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Mib! The chain just wouldn't end.
You know, after last round, it feels crazy that Mib's not on the scoreboard yet. Also down a stop.
Yeah, wow, Rune actually taking the stock. Keeping this pressure and the speed up this time. But yeah, Mib just taking full advantage of color clear here. Turning all these garbage petals into perfectly good, workable petals. And then just throwing them out in big chunks, and chunky chains are surprisingly effective.
That's kind of what I noticed. Like, there's some opportunities where Rune could just take a big singular damage spike that converts into a chain. Like,
Oh
Mib's
no!
not taking that. Oh no. Well then. Rune moving on.
Yeah, that was a very surprising 3-0. I think all three wins were on Mib stumbles.
Like how we were talking hypotheticals, like, you know, the Rune might be shooting himself in the foot a little bit. He's like, no, shut up, I win.
The
I'm the
second
dark
two
horse.
rounds went like that.
Alright.
I think the first round was fairly convincing. The second two round were. Need I remind people the reason we shout Kennedy's Gaming so much
Oh my
is
God.
precisely because of the way I play Petal Crash.
Okay, I forgot that.
Can't believe you're the
but that is
reincarnation
fair.
of JFK.
Yep.
Anyway.
Nothing bad ever happens to Roonespism. Not when I'm playing
So-
Petal Crash.
So wait, JFK is just American Rune?
Yes.
We're all over the place. Alright, I'm deafening again. I need to concentrate against this guy.
The coward, he can't listen to us talk! Okay. Honestly, now that I think about it, like, Vietnam to Australia's gotta be a better connection than stateside, right?
I think so. But the server is still in the States,
What is
so...
this chain?
36 garbage? And it came back?
Like,
Excuse me?
it crisscrossed. Look how this game is kind of crazy. Okay, Rune taking
Oh,
first
goodness.
hit.
Yeah, Rune taking first hit, but look, immediately takes the tempo on the second stop.
Okay, it's honestly unbelievable tempo decision making here. Oh, there's the first
Uh-oh.
little hiccup of synchronizing, but we're gonna
Let's see if it comes back.
hope for the best. Hmm.
Nope.
Someone go check on Vietnam, please. Just see that they're doing all right.
I think TinWild is being too wild for their internet connection.
Yeah, it seems like it. Like, it's always been the problem child of the entire setup here, but it's never been this pronounced. Or at least not in a long time. Let me read something real quick. Okay, well, TinWild's back.
But are they back?
Beats me. They're just kind of standing there menacingly. Hey, someone's off a deafened.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what's happening.
You're
TinWild
talking.
says he can't get on the cabinet.
Oh. You're
Oh,
talking-
now he's on the cap. Yeah, because he was.
We've got a void cabinet!
What?
Ah,
What is happening?
power of the void. Okay, so what happens if I come back in? I wanted to see this from this perspective. So I come
I
back
think you
in.
get
I am
forced
taken by
back
the
on the
void!
cabin.
I'm making a new lobby.
Oh yeah, you should do that.
Puzzle Zone. Puzzle Wednesday. Thanks for putting,
Wait a second. What if the reason is because you keep putting Wednesday in the lobby names? Whereas for neither TinWild nor me, it is Wednesday.
Yeah,
Load-bearing lobby names.
we're waiting on you.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I have to update the list manually.
Alright, from the top.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, that's not Tin. Where'd he go? He's gone. We might have to have a TO ruling on this at some point.
Okay. Once more from the top. Oh, wait a second, I shouldn't ready up yet.
Okay. We're finally in there. Okay, thank goodness. Oh,
Oh, did we not
didn't
set the
set the
rules for the
rules.
lobby?
That's on me.
What did that look like on your end?
You want immediately.
Okay, that is also what it looks like on my end.
Yeah, because Tin backed out because the rules are not set.
Ugh.
Oh, right, the rules.
Yeah, that thing that we need. I'm going back to
Thank
big
goodness,
ones.
I built half my chain backwards anyway. That was going to be a bad run, I could already tell.
I'm going back to Big Wednesday.
So, yeah, the cabinet's uncursed.
Oh, it is? Let me be the judge of that. No, it's not!
Okay, someone else may.
Okay, what the heck? It isn't uncursed.
Alright, let's see. Oh, that's a good random name that I just got. And then the usual password.
Make sure the rules are right, because I didn't.
Yep, make sure the rules are right. So it's garbage is color clear, and
Yep.
chaos is push garbage.
Yep, push garbage on.
It's the same password.
Alright.
Thank you for being patient with us in the tail end here. This is some more unique problems than we've had for any other Petal Crash bracket. But we're still vibing. We're having a good time. Rune's locked to the cabinet. We're hoping the void isn't there.
Oh no, I was just already on the cabinet because I saw the...
Look, man. Not after tonight. Scary out there.
Once again.
Lily, you're not supposed to make the Petal Crash cabinet swirly with your glasses. Oh my goodness, Rune. Playing time trial here. Failed to set the train off with their trigger twice. Third time's the charm. And unfortunately, Tin just doesn't have any material to counterattack with at this point.
And that's why Rune feels this comfortable growing this much. I'm anxious. Confirms first stock, which, given this matchup, man. That means TinWild's really in the red.
Oh yeah. Tin, countered Rune's incredible opening chain, but then Rune had a follow-up and Tin had nothing. Living via... Oh no!
You were saying?
Okay, I said I'd deafen myself, but I'm back. Welcome to Battle Cruiser Petal Crash. This is the new meta for this mode.
What do you mean when you say that?
I mean, we don't make small chains ever. If the chain isn't 8 or higher, I don't want to hear about it. It's Battle
Understood.
Cruiser Petal Crash.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is just the Puyo mode.
Okay, Runes. I mean, we know why his board is looking this dense, but
Yeah, and I mean, Tin is just refusing to set off his massive chain. They're just playing Puyo at this point and doing footsies. Tin launches first, takes the stock.
okay, Rune didn't want it anyway.
I guess Rune isn't getting any stock options from his job then.
Tragic.
So lots of back and forth play here. Tin not really being threatened too much. by what Rune has. Until it becomes a 20 and Tim has to deal with the consequences
I don't know, they're
of
both
having...
kind of like 1 foot in the grave right now.
Yeah, I mean... This sure is Petal.
No, I'm sorry. Rune is puzzle bonchoing right now.
Oh no, Tim's just a little too slow.
Like, earnestly, he started doing a couple of one-chain spikes that had like 7 or 8 and like suddenly...
I wonder if this strategy is going to work against Digi, because this is fun.
I mean, I have to wonder, isn't that what Digi's been doing against you?
Possibly. They were doing it a lot faster than I am, though. I'm trying to learn on the job. This is difficult.
I see. The read on Rune's chain didn't quite use the red to extend properly, but you know what, we're vibing. Good time out here.
Yeah. Sometimes just a couple of 4 chains is all you need.
Yeah. I mean, Rune's doing so much better in terms of resources right now. He's about to lose the first stock, but, you know, take a drink every time. That's about to happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't matter, I guess, if you end the stock behind on bar, but with so much more material than your opponent that you're just able to overwhelm them immediately afterwards. It's like playing Puzzle Fighter.
When you play Dan?
Well, no, I mean, in Puzzle Fighter, when you get to the diamond first, you get to, like, whack your opponent really hard. But then they get their diamond and have way more to hit you back with.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Rune not quite. So, I guess he did settle that stock.
Yep. Oh, and that's gonna be a 4 chain.
But yeah, no, like, Rune's resources in each link is getting much bigger.
Oh, yeah.
He's starting to do, like, perfect squares to set things off. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and you can't interrupt his chain. There's no threat of interrupting the chain with garbage because he can just push it out of the way. I think he might have broken the meta.
Wow. Who would have guessed that Roonespism would do a thing like that? Unprecedented.
He finally realized that you just can't kill him if he just hits you hard enough. He can't lose if he wins first.
That sure does sound like some Dragon Ball stuff. Yeah, Rune's threatening TinWild's last stock.
Yep, and here comes another 5 chain.
Keeping
Tim throwing
pretty
literally
centered.
everything he's got to prevent losing this stock, and still only just barely managing to tread water. Tin out of resources, forced to grow. Maybe it's actually a bad thing if you perfect counter your opponent repeatedly, because then you just have less garbage to use for resources.
Yeah. They can steal the grow button from you.
Again, it's Puzzle Fighter a little bit. Because garbage in that game is resources.
Can't believe it actually made Puzzle Fighter 2.
She did a better job than Serlin. Though I don't think that was particularly hard. Also, Tin has this is last. Oh yeah, it was last dock.
Okay.
All right, pulling it back. Okay, Tin with the Lightning 5. The 20 garbage Lightning 5?
Rune cutting his losses on his chain pretty hard, basically abandoning the entire northern quadrant.
Yeah. Oh no, okay. Okay.
Oh, we're throwing in the synchronization for advantage. Nah, this is absolutely turning into a Dragon Ball fight. It's like, yes, they're moving too fast for my eyes to keep up with. You see random explosions.
That is how it feels. Especially with all the sound effects playing at once afterwards.
Yes. Petal Crash, the greatest shonen series ever.
I'm sure Strelitz would approve.
Oh, absolutely. Man, they're both kind of knee-deep in it, but like at least Rune has managed to work off most, if not all, of his garbage.
Yep, and Tin has garbage with Petal spawners stuck in between the garbage.
That's
so
okay.
even if he moves...
This is what I want to single out. I feel like spawners are more threatening than garbage at this point. Because you know what
yeah.
Rune doesn't have? He's been keeping his spawners to a minimum if he can help it.
Mm-hmm.
I called that shot like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, because, like, the only thing that really kills you in this mode is running out of room. And the only way you run out of room is when you fill your board up with spawners.
Speaking of which, Rune, well, I mean, that got rid of most of his board.
Yep.
I also got rid of most of TinWild's board.
Yeah, it turned all the spawners into garbage spawners, which, oops.
Oops. Alright. Rune moving on to
Rune
Grands.
with the run back.
I feel like he has the game mode knowledge that he didn't back in winners. Or actually, winner semis. So.
Yeah, he's open.
Are you calling a bracket reset early?
Who, me or him? Because I don't think I
Juicey.
am.
I don't know. I'm gonna...
The battle cruiser is powerful.
You know? No, I'm gonna say yes.
Well,
this
I mean,
is gonna
I won-
happen. This is gonna happen.
I won 2 rounds before I was even playing this well, so who knows? Maybe I'll get him.
Nah, this is happening.
But that was against the DG of 50 minutes ago, rather than the DG of 40 minutes ago, which is a very different person.
Yes. Well, I mean, you're a different person now, too.
TrashBoat asks if it's Puzzle Fighter, then where's the Ken mirrors?
Do you not see all the fairies and Hanses here? That's just Ken and Donovan. The 2 viable characters.
Oh my goodness. Rune blasted the top off the sandwich there. Alright, does it again. Digi just oh, what was that chain? Yeah, Digi heavily relying on that color clear.
Rune not making a lot of progress on his garbage. He's making moves in the space he does have.
Yeah, Digi has been prioritizing clearing the garbage and making sure to clear it in ways where he gets big clumps of one color from it. So clearing 3, 4, 5 pieces of garbage at once with one clear. Like he's intentionally pushing space into the middle of a big clump of garbage, and then pushing 2 petals into it. And Rune has now found his board covered in spawners. But has that puzzle boncho set up here with these greens. Yeah, digs around to the side. Now he's got more greens. This is how the comeback begins.
Yeah, we're threatening one stock rune here. Just need to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, he's kind of pushed Digi up to the edge of the board.
Like,
But once again, look at that! Just using the garbage. Free extra link to the chain.
Like, Rune's kind of hit the positioning and board where he can start doing a conventional game plan again. Like, he's just doing chains. He's getting consistent, like, fast tempo 4s and 5s. And
Oh, goodness.
not accepting damage. He
Digi
almost has to, like,
might be
survive
on the
long
ropes.
enough.
Yeah, I think Digi's on the ropes. Although, there is a chance that Puzzle Boncho can still happen in Petal Crash.
Let's just please make that the turn. Just puzzle bonchoing it.
I'm all for that. The Gyakuten Puzzle Boncho. Turnabout Petals. Speaking of turning about petals, Rune down the first 2 stocks, pulls it all the way back.
Look, I called my mark here. I think he's gonna reset.
Still got quite a bit of work ahead of him, and Digi is not giving it to him for free.
Certainly not, but
And don't forget, Digi did win their winners round set 3-2. So it was already a nail biter. Oh my goodness, Rune.
yeah,
Let's just throw a 20 through the 20.
yeah.
And despite that, Rune is behind on the bar.
Look, this is a funny game. We're funny people.
Alright, Rune pulling out the first stock.
Digi in a horrendous position. Down a stock.
Yeah, they have no material and no room. And not enough garbage clumps that they'd be able to use the color clear part of the garbage to do anything, and I think they're locked out here? No, they're not locked out, but they are in very, very bad shape. Yeah, they had to avoid spawners at all costs.
I called my mark.
Oop! Did I accidentally left the lobby.
Dang, I'm still here.
Digi accidentally, I think, firing off that chain. Alright, just taking the 5.
Yeah.
I think they were screen watching because they did that in anticipation of Rune's chain.
Kinda need to, I think.
Oh my goodness, the 6th link. Oh, but that garbage pattern is perfect for, look, that
Yeah.
1 green turns into
Yeah.
4. And because garbage prioritizes empty spaces with no spawners in them, you can kind of predict where the garbage will land and then build your counters in that space.
Rune's gonna need to do a lot this round.
Yeah, they won the first stock and then lost tempo, which is kind of the opposite of what they've been doing previous. Oh, Rune, so far in the weeds, but they have so much material if they could just find a way to
That's exactly
unlock
it. Like last round as well, like he just needs to find some point where he can alleviate some of the pressure and then utilize it and swing it all
Okay,
back.
that'll help. Using the garbage to his advantage. Definitely learning from Digi's play.
Yeah, we're going
think
for
I've-
some beefy singles when they show up, as they show up.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Rune prioritize color clearing the garbage
You're
as
gonna die.
much as I have this round. But yeah, that's...
Look, it's free real estate.
Rune's still threatening reset point. Wait, I don't think I ever realized that. Did you play with wraparound on? I thought I just saw their cursor wrap around the board. Oh my gosh, that's so much garbage! But it all lands in a big clump. So you know what Digi's about to do. Yeah, look at that big purple. And it's set up at the end of a chain. Alright, they're fighting over this first stock.
I'd say Rune's positioning is just a little bit more favorable.
Oh yeah, because Digi doesn't have anything big set up to steal it. I say...
Rune just kind of stopped for a little bit. For better or for worse.
I can't believe Rune was thinking. Rune got caught thinking. Oh my goodness. That was a really fast second stock. What happened?
coming back from garbage disadvantage.
Like, I was watching Rune digging out. I didn't see how Digi pushed it all the way to 25.
It was quick.
And yeah, Digi is just keeping the pressure on. Oh my goodness. Plus 10. Plus 13.
We're done.
That's
with this
it.
round. Okay, I called my mark. This is the time to do it, Rune.
Alright. Last game.
Honestly, it seems like obviously Rune's greeting, but like the ability to pivot compared to or the consequence of pivoting is just higher in this. All the material you built with just does not go away as free.
Wow, Digi with the very fast 26. And the follow-up 18?
Oh no.
I mean, Rune isn't out of it, but this is looking like a fairy wants some lunch money.
Okay, get some big purple.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the start. But there's just so little material. Rune has like almost no material left on their board, even after Puzzle Bomb showing all of it. And what material they do have is being slowly chipped away at.
Not out, but...
No, okay, here comes the 3 chain. 4 chain. Steals the stock. Okay. That'll put the brakes a little bit on Digi running away with it. Oh, Digi took that chain the wrong way. That'll cost him quite a bit of tempo.
The damage accept is also going to be horrid for Digi right now.
Oh my gosh,
Look
yeah.
at that.
And suddenly...
Wow.
Oh, they pushed...
Wow.
Oh my gosh. But then again, once again, we look at this Puzzle Bomb Show stuff. Look at all these reds. What if their board was all red?
It would be pretty funny. That'd be like a, I don't know, like a Dan from Puzzle Fighter.
Dan
Wonder
from
if
Puzzle...
anyone heard that tonight.
Is that like Ryu from Streets?
Yeah.
Alright, so Rune threatening reset stock. Digi fighting to keep Rune off.
I think Rune might have what it takes here.
Okay, Rune at +3. Digi at +4.
Okay, Rune's scrambling a bit.
Yep, okay. Last stock of the first set. Will it be a reset? Or will it be the end? Find out on the next episode of Petal Crash Z.
I really don't like Rune's chances here.
I don't know, he's got some stuff, but he's minus 15. Does he have 15 stuff, is the question. No, he doesn't.
No. Looks like I was wrong. Glad I didn't bet anything. Alrighty then.
That was a heck of a tournament.
Yeah.
I am very impressed with how amazingly well these rules worked.
Yeah, Digi was clearly doing some stuff. Like, wowzers. Anyway, with that, DigiDigi is your Petal Crash 15th edition champion. We're gonna talk about what's in the works for the remainder of August, while I see if we have anyone that we can raid. So, August 2nd, you were here. Congratulations, you saw Petal Crash. Aren't you happy? Aren't you proud? You are. I get it. So, for the remainder of August, first up is a return to Money Puzzle Exchanger. It's been a hot minute since we've done a bracket for this game, but it's time. Magical Drop League is done for the year, so doing friendlies in that. It's time to go back to the funny money game and see if anyone can dethrone Butts BB. That's going to be August 9th, 8:30 p.m. EDT. Wednesday, August 16th, Bobble 13th edition. We're doing just plain old, regular old, god dang Puzzle Bobble for the Neo Geo. No frills, just funny original game. Wednesday, August 23rd, the first of our 2 mystery games for this month. It's Columns 3rd edition, because we're doing Columns 3. If you've not played Columns 3, it's the game where you can store up your clears and send it all on command in a funny punch button. It's a very violent game. It's very neutral heavy. It's a good time. Friday mode. Friday, August 25th, 8:30 p.m. EDT. OSHA 2nd edition. We're back with Wrecking Crew 98. Wrecking Crew 98 is probably one of the least loved Nintendo puzzlers just due to its general unavailability. If you play Panel Upon, you're going to see some similarities in DNA, but it's more of an action platformer take. And boy howdy, it gets silly. And for the final mystery game of August, on the 30th, 8:30 p.m. EDT, we are here with Mouse Edition, Mouse Shooter Go-Go. It is a match colors game, but what if your playfield was also kind of like a dodgeball match? So, you can win by clearing all of the resources on your board, or you can just get pegged by a stray piece that your opponent decides to throw at you. So, a little bit of a difference in terms of board awareness and neutral. Check that out. We got a pretty packed up lineup for August. I will say the other shout out we have is if you're catching GDQ this year, one of our friends from Dr. Mario Championship server, Savage Octagon, is putting on a Dr. Mario shuffler for the Femme Fatales block. What that entails is going to be basically Dr. Mario NES, Dr. Mario Game Boy, and Dr. Mario SNES all being run at the same time and demanding that people on their runs basically swap from one game to another as it happens, as they request. So, it's going to be a good bit. It's going to be a good time. Speaking of GDQ, we're going to raid friend Liz Star. They're playing Ogre Battle, the March of the Black Queen. I don't know what that game's about, but hit them with a Petal Crash and a funny Wario as we send you her way. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, guys, and we will catch you